The beautiful thing about books is that you could have 100 people in here right now. We could find something they feel like they belong in. Something that represents either them or their interest at the time. And I think the beautiful thing too is that our interests always evolve, and so does literature. And you get to wander and navigate through that and just find yourself. People say that all the time, oh, find yourself in a good book. But it's absolutely true.
I was disenchanted with my career in nonprofits.
Chelsea was working for the American Cancer Society and doing outreach and all that sort of stuff and lobbying.
And a friend of mine asked me if I could do anything, what would I want to do? And it was a stationery store.
I mean, it couldn't have been more by chance.
She said, well, a little bird told me that Montana Book Company might be for sale. Is that close enough?
Oh, there you go. Thank you so much. Kids, I said hi. Okay, I will do. Okay, see you. Bye, Ed.
I didn't have the means to buy the store, but a dear friend of mine offered to foot the down payment.
It went really fast. Like, oh, here it is, it's available, and maybe, and
June of 2018, we sat down and signed the papers.
And next thing you know, we're in here for 5 days painting the walls, totally stressed out, not knowing what we're doing at all, and then we have a grand opening. It was insane, honestly.
I have never worked in the book selling business, and so I'm not sure how we survived. We were really learning by trial and error.
I think we were really lucky that we didn't know any better. It wasn't until much later when we talked to other business owners and when they said things like, wait, you turned over that store in 5 days from past ownership to new. You did this in this amount of time. We just didn't know any better.
We were playing it relatively safe to begin with, although the tone changed dramatically. And of course, we lost a few customers because we're a little more snarky and sassy than the prior owners. But ultimately, for those we lost, we grew as well. Bookstores have a long history of being kind of social justice oriented, radical bookstores.
I think that a lot of people look at whether the facade or once you come in the door and are like, wow, it's really lots of things. Queer, it's outspoken, it's these people are political. And one thing I'd like to remind people is that the typed word is political. It's always been political. I think that we just need to remember that, we all have free speech, and if you don't enjoy this, that's okay.
A person came through the door and paused on a Saturday, and I heard them say, "This is the loudest bookstore ever." And it wasn't because we were like yelling politically. It was just that people were in here and they were talking and laughing and having a good time. And some bookstores you walk into and you feel like you're in a library.
Yeah, we are loud politically, and we talk about the things that we care about and express ourselves and stand up for people. But it is loud in here on a Saturday.
And I'm like, that's okay. I don't care. I want them to enjoy being here. It really felt good to be called the loudest bookstore, and not because of the political lean, but because of the experience of people being in here and feeling free to talk and be jovial. I just loved it. Some people think that we're just a liberal bookstore, but I think we are so much more than that. We're advocates for humans. We are women. We are non-binary persons. We are queer. We are veterans. We are so much more complex. We're really dynamic humans, and the people that we serve and the people that come into this bookstore are too. I love getting to know people's stories. I love getting to talk to them. We spend a lot of time talking to people about what they are going through, or a struggle they might have, or who they are and what kinds of characters they need to find in books. We like to say that the bookstore is kind of like a bar where our customers come in, we have conversations, and if they are looking for a book, we help them to find what matches them. And that is my greatest pleasure, is knowing my friends and my community and my customers.
This bookstore wouldn't exist without community. It just wouldn't. Our community's huge, and it's humbling. It's definitely not just a bookstore. It's almost like a community center in many ways for all types of different folks. There's a lot of people who come in here who've never bought a thing ever. That's okay. I'm glad they're here. I'm glad that this is feels like these four walls feel like someplace they can be for 15 minutes or an hour or whatever, and to just be and be safe.
I feel really honored every day to walk in this, and it's not anything that I could have imagined for myself. From where I came from to where I am, just so astounding. If I look back at my story and I see people would think that just this big book nerd like constantly pursued this. It's not what happened. I feel like the universe kind of guided me in that direction. I found a quote the other day from Margaret Atwood that says, "In the end, we all become stories." And one of my favorite quotes is from Flannery O'Connor, who said, "As long as you've lived to the age of 18, you have a story to write." So that is, I think, essential in the human experiences. Making stories and reading stories in order to make meaning of why we are here.